On a quiet February morning in 2025, the 38-year-old professor, working silently in MIT's mathematics department, drew no one's attention. Like other academics, he sat at his desk, dealing with complex equations. But in the past of this seemingly ordinary man lay an incredible secret that had shaken the scientific world. 30 years ago, in 1995, the world's eyes were on this same man. He was only 8 years old then, and was graduating from the University of California with a mathematics degree. The media called him a child prodigy, and scientists couldn't believe his existence. Alex Chen's story was an extraordinary journey that pushed the limits of human intelligence, while also revealing the painful reality of a child being deprived of normal life. Alex Chen was born on March 15, 1987, in San Francisco. His father, Robert Chen, was a computer engineer, and his mother, Maria Chen, was a high school mathematics teacher. He was the child of a middle-class American Chinese family. Nothing indicated that he would be extraordinary, but Alex's intelligence began to show itself at very early ages. When he was an 8-month-old baby, while other babies were just learning to crawl, Alex was trying to say simple words. His family saw this as normal development. When he was 18 months old, Alex could form complete sentences. This wasn't abnormal either. Some children started speaking early, but when he turned 2, he began doing things that made the family start to wonder. When Alex was still 2 years old, he would flip through his mother's mathematics books, playing with numbers. Maria Chen initially thought this was just imitation, but Alex seemed to really understand numbers. One day, while Maria was cooking in the kitchen, Alex came to her and asked, "Mom, what's 247 plus 183? Maria was surprised. How did a 2-year-old know 3-digit numbers? 430, she answered hastily. Alex shook his head. "No, Mom, it's not 430. Maria took the calculator and checked. The answer was 430. Alex had said it was wrong, but even the fact that the child knew such large numbers was surprising. The next day, Alex came again. "Mom, what does 247 plus 183 mean?" he asked. That's when Maria understood. Alex wasn't asking for the result of the operation, but what it meant. The 2-year-old child was trying to understand mathematical concepts. At age 3, Alex learned to read. He began reading not only simple children's books, but also his mother's mathematics books. Although he didn't understand most words, numbers and formulas caught his interest. Robert Chen was initially worried. He wanted his son to have a normal childhood, but Alex's intelligence was developing so rapidly that it was impossible to ignore. At age 4, Alex could understand high school-level mathematics, trigonometry, algebra, geometry. He learned all of them from books. His family had now realized the seriousness of the situation. Maria and Robert decided to take Alex to a child psychologist. Dr. Sarah Williams was a child development specialist at Stanford University. When she tested Alex, she couldn't believe the results. "This child's IQ level is over 180, said Dr. Williams. "This is an extremely rare condition. It might even be genius level." The test results showed that Alex had university-level knowledge in mathematics. The 4-year-old child could solve complex mathematical problems that most adults couldn't understand. Dr. Williams advised the family, "Alex needs special education to unlock his potential. The normal school system won't be enough for him." Robert and Maria faced a difficult decision. They wanted their son to have a normal childhood, but also didn't want to hinder his extraordinary abilities. In 1991, when Alex was 4 years old, his family enrolled him in Stanford University's Gifted Youth Program. This program was specially designed for extraordinarily talented children. Alex's first university experience was shocking. The students around him were 18, perceived and 20 years old, while he was only 4. Physically, he was like their child. but mentally, they were at the same level. Initially, teachers approached Alex with skepticism. Could a 4-year-old really understand university-level mathematics? But Alex's performance dispelled all doubts. In his first semester, he took calculus, linear algebra, and differential equations. He got A+ in all of them. His professors were amazed by his intelligence, but also worried. Professor David Martinez was Alex's calculus instructor. Alex was perfect mathematically, he recalled years later, but he struggled socially. He kept wanting to play games. Alex's biggest problem was social maladjustment. Other students in class would go to bars after class, form friendships, have romantic relationships. Alex would go home and play with his toys. At age 5, Alex discovered even more advanced mathematics, mathematical analysis, number theory, topology. These were subjects that even most mathematics students struggled with. Alex's daily routine was quite unusual. He would wake up at 7 a.m., have breakfast, then go to university. At lunch break, he would return home to play, then go back to class. In the evenings, he tried to spend time with his family, but often preferred solving math problems. Mathematics was like a game to him, like other children playing video games. At age 6, Alex had become known throughout the university. His performance in classes was so high that professors began collaborating with him. He was helping with some research projects. The number theory project he started with Professor Jennifer Lee became Alex's first scientific contribution. Despite his young age, he really brought new perspectives, Professor Lee said. But Alex's success was beginning to attract media attention. Journalists were constantly chasing news. He began to be known by the label child prodigy. Robert and Maria were uncomfortable with media interest. They wanted their son to have a normal childhood, but this was becoming increasingly difficult. Alex had no friends. He couldn't find anyone to play with. At age 7, Alex began his final year at university. He was taking the most difficult courses in the mathematics department and getting high grades from all of them. He had already started writing his graduation thesis. His thesis topic was a new approach to complex number theory. This subject required doctoral-level research. Alex was doing this at age 7. His thesis advisor, Professor Michael Zhang, was very impressed with Alex's work. This thesis was better than what many doctoral students produced, he commented. At age 8, in June 1995, Alex Chen was preparing for his graduation ceremony. This was a very important moment, not only in his own life, but in educational history. The graduation ceremony was met with great media interest. CNN, NBC, ABC Media's all major television channels covered the story. Headlines like 8-year-old university graduate adorned newspapers. Alex looked very small at the graduation ceremony. His graduation gown was too big for him. His cap kept slipping, but he was graduating as the most successful student in the mathematics department. The moment he received his diploma was historic. As he held the diploma with his small hands, thousands of people looked at him with admiring eyes, but there seemed to be a weariness in Alex's eyes. After graduation, media frenzy began. Everyone wanted to hear Alex's story. He appeared on talk shows, gave interviews. He had become famous as a child prodigy. But this fame wasn't easy for Alex at all. The 8-year-old child was constantly subjected to questions, feeling compelled to perform. Normal childhood needs like playing games and making friends took a back seat. The years 1995 to 2000 were the most difficult period for Alex. He was now famous, but still a child. Neither children understood him, nor adults knew how to treat him. His family considered enrolling Alex in a doctoral program, but psychologists opposed this. Alex needs to spend time with normal peers for his social development, they said. Alex was very lonely during this period. Solving math problems was his only entertainment. He had no friends. He couldn't find common interests to share with anyone. At ages 9 to 10, Alex began seeing a child therapist. He was trying to develop social skills, but there was a huge gap between him and his peers. At age 11, Alex returned to university, but this time in a doctoral program. He chose MIT's mathematics department. Here he would attract less media attention and could focus on his research. The doctoral years were better for Alex. He was now accepted as a very young researcher. Even though he couldn't form friendships with peers, he was accepted in academic circles. At age 16, Alex completed his doctoral thesis. His thesis was a new theory in mathematical physics. This work received great appreciation in academic circles. At age 18, Alex was already a full-time researcher. He was doing postdoctoral research at MIT. While his peers were just starting university, he had already begun his career. But there was a big gap in Alex's life. Social relationships. He had never had a girlfriend, had no close friends. He might be a genius in mathematics, but emotionally, he was still developing. In his 20s, Alex focused on developing social skills. He continued therapy, tried to participate in social activities. He was slowly learning to connect with people. At age 25, Alex became an assistant professor at MIT. This was an extraordinary achievement for such a young age. He was now leading his own research group, training students. In 2015, at age 28, Alex met the love of his life. Sarah Mitchell was a young researcher doing her physics doctorate at MIT. She knew Alex's background, but loved him not for that, but for his personality. Alex and Sarah's relationship developed slowly. Alex was still somewhat childish emotionally, inexperienced in relationship matters, but Sarah was patient and understood Alex. They married in 2017. This was a huge step for Alex. For the first time in his life, he had something important besides mathematics. Sarah saw him not just as a child prodigy, but as a human being. In 2019, their first child, Emma, was born. Alex was very happy to become a father, but also worried. He remembered what he had missed in his own childhood and wanted Emma to have a normal childhood. He carefully monitored Emma's development. His daughter was a child of average intelligence, which relieved Alex. Emma was playing normal games, making friends, living the childhood Alex had missed. In 2021, their second child, Michael, was born. Alex was now an experienced father. He had learned to play with his children, tell them stories. He was living the childhood he had missed through them. In 2022, Alex became a full professor at MIT. Reaching this position at age 35 was a great achievement, but it wasn't surprising for Alex. He had always been ahead of his age intellectually. Today in 2025, Alex Chen is 38 years old. He works as a mathematics professor at MIT, a respected academic in his field. He lives a happy life with his wife Sarah and 2 children. Alex's research still makes waves in the mathematics world. He writes many articles, gives speeches at conferences. But now not only mathematics, but family life is also his priority. In recent years, Alex has also been working on the education of gifted children. Based on his own experiences, he developed suggestions for both academic and social development of these children. Graduating at age 8 was a great achievement, says Alex. But my real achievement was learning to be a normal human being. He teaches mathematics to his children Emma and Michael, but doesn't pressure them. He wants them to discover their interests, chart their own paths. Alex's story is still being discussed. It's studied as a case study in the education of child prodigies. It emphasizes the balance between academic success and social development. Some think Alex's childhood was sacrificed. Others argue that his potential was properly evaluated. Alex himself has mixed feelings about this. "I wish I could have had a normal childhood," he sometimes says, "but I'm also grateful for discovering mathematics early. Life is very complex, not black and white." Alex's students describe him as both very intelligent and understanding instructor. He cares about their emotional development as much as their academic success. Today, everyone who looks at Alex Chen sees a normal mathematics professor, but the extraordinary story in his past continues to be one of the rare examples where human intelligence pushed its limits. Graduating from university at age 8 brought Alex fame, but his real success came afterward. Learning to build a normal life, to love and be loved, was perhaps his greatest victory. Alex Chen's story teaches us that gifted children shouldn't focus only on academic success. Social development, emotional intelligence, and human relationships are just as important as mathematics. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.